Hello and welcome to the computer science program at WWCC.edu. My name is Jerry Sampson. I'll be doing this presentation. Robin Green is the lead instructor for the computer science program. Her office number here is 509-527-4699. Let's talk a little bit about the different degrees we offer here at community college. Let me go to full screen on this. So, Associate in Applied Science and Software degree. This is a 2-year degree. It's meant to help you become a programmer in the field. We also offer a 1-year data center technician info. So the 1-year data center is pretty much aimed at Amazon data center down at Boardman, Hermiston. I've got 30-40 students working down there. Usually within 1 year, you'll definitely get on. All you need is A+, Network+, Linux helps. And so they're going to be building buildings down there for the next 10 years. It starts about $30 an hour, goes up to $40 an hour. I've got 3 students now that have been there more than a year and a half, and they're making 6 figures as building managers. Anyway, Robin Green at WWCC.edu, you can email her. We also offer Associate Applied Science degree in Business Marketing, and this kind of a computer emphasis on how to market and that. And if you need more info on that, Dennis.Richardson at WWCC.edu, he's the lead instructor advisor for that program. And we've just started this last year, a 1-year audio engineering certificate. And so Rodney Outlaw is our instructor for that, Rodney.Outlaw at WWCC. And I'll go more into these degrees and exactly what they entail. To check out any of our degrees, when you come to WWCC.edu, there's a little academics right up here on the top. When you click that button, it gives you a little pull-down menu to go to academics. And when this opens up, you can come over here and click on College Catalog. The College Catalog will do is take you into degrees and certificates. And we've got over 34 different degrees and certificates within there. The first one I want to talk about is the Data Center Technician Certificate. When we look at this certificate, it's pretty much Intro to Computers, Introduction to Computer Information, you have Intro to Programming, the A+ certifications, one of the most important certifications in there. You can see this is a one-year certificate. So, and then there's videos. If you go out to YouTube, working at the data center, it's pretty chill jobs. What you have to do is you have to fix 9 computers a week. They call them resolves, so that computers tell you when they're sick. They tell you when they're not working, and you just go out to the floor. And these data centers are big, like I said, they're going to be building on it for the next 10 years. When you go drive by Boardman, Oregon, as you're going down the highway, you go to a left turn off the highway, you'll see all these big cement buildings. Or as you come into Umatilla, you'll see these big, giant cement buildings. So anyway, that's the Amazon. I also have students who work at Google and the Dalles, and I have students at Apple over in Prineville, Oregon. And the next one, Associate Applied Science Software degree. It's a technical degree. What is understanding of computer operating system, programming, databases, applications, hardware, solve computer-related problems for a variety of business applications. So really we use portfolio-based design. That means you will, as a capstone, I'll show you a few of our students' capstones. I had one student build a game. I've had another student do a time clock management. I've got one student this year that's actually doing a program for individuals who can't speak. And so the computer does the talking for them. So we have an advisory committee, 12 business people, 6 to 12, it varies. And anyway, they tell us what to teach and help you. Nginx here in town, I'll talk about some of the jobs. Nginx here at Walla, Jim Edmonds owns that. He's probably got, well, you'll see a video where there's 5 or 6 of our students now employees there, and it shows a meeting there at Nginx. Certificate in Audio Engineering I was talking about. You'll dive in the world of audio engineering, talk about the definitions, how the cables, master key terminology. We've got quite the audio engineering studio now built. Really, it's equipped to handle real-world challenges, and a 1-year certificate to put you in employment in that. Associate in Applied Science degree in Business Marketing, like I said, it's a degree per student for entry-level employment in the fields of digital design for the web. It's pretty much what you're doing. Also, from that, you can go on to a bachelor's degree. We have business bachelor's degrees here on WWCC. You can just continue on and get your bachelor's here. For those of you guys going to computer science, I've had a lot of students go over to WSU. WSU also has a campus in Tri-Cities, Columbia-based community college, cybersecurity, a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. East Washington University's got a great ITAM program. They take our 2-year degree right in, so it's a 2 plus 2. That means you go 2 years here, 2 years over there to get your 4-year degree. Western Governors University, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, WGU. So if you go work at Amazon, you get 1-year death certificate. When you get employed at Amazon, they will pay for you to go on and get your bachelor's degree and pay for all your education from Western Governors. I personally went to Eastern Oregon University. They've got a computer science program. Central Washington, Boise State's got a great cybersecurity program. They now accept our 2-year degree in. So here's a project students are using Python. And what they do is they had to program these cars to go through kind of like a maze is what it was. Well, first they were testing them out. We're just seeing some of the issues they had, and I'll play this video for you. You'll see this one car here. He had a hard time recognizing his foot there, where this one here did a lot better job. But what we figured out with that piece of cardboard on that robotic eye, it reflects back better, so it was able to get through the maze better just from having that piece of cardboard. The cameras were real high-sensitive cameras. So it kind of gives you an idea of some of the projects we do as students here. Here's the program I was talking about. A student built this program. What it is, a gaming program using the Unity engine. You'll hear us in the background talking about this. Really, he had like more character.
Yeah, floating fire.
He's going to talk about the character building.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just like animation you'd find in Disney, right? So you draw, whether it be with Photoshop or whatever, and you draw all these tiny little pictures, and then you line them up in an animator so they play one after the other by frame, by the keyframes, and you end up getting something that looks pretty good. Pretty happy. So
anyway, he was talking about there, and one of the things we had a problem with is how many times you had to hit the your boss levels and that, and how many times they die. This is GitHub we're using here. That's why you see all his files here. He was running this. This was his capstone final where he was showing 3 instructors, how this game actually worked, the different levels. In your capstone, you have to have you have to have a help manual. It shows people how to go use your program in that, all your code. So this is over 2 quarters that students do this project in. Talking about jobs, Cayuse Technologies outside Pendleton, Oregon. And anyway, they have a ton of jobs. They don't pay a ton of money, but they have great benefits. So they give you paid time off, your full medical, dental, and that. Also, they will pay for your 4-year degree. So we've had a lot of students that after 2 years went down there, started working for Cayuse, but kept taking our classes to get their bachelor's degree. And went on, in fact, I've had students go through WGU too to finish their software degree. So that's kind of what this is all about here. And then this is the data center, showing the data center was lit up and trucking part of Amazon's warehouse data center down, and talking about the different jobs. Coffee Communications here, Walla. It's, the system admin job came up. Data center technicians, as I said, Amazon's always hiring. Going to be hiring for the next 10 years. A lot of jobs. Indeed.com, AWS scaling. So just always lots of jobs in IT. I just put C++ to give you some idea. We teach C++, C#, JavaScript, Python, all different programming languages. And as you go in Indeed, if you look at some of the jobs here, it gives you some idea. My nephew went through our program. He now lives in Denver. He has sit downs on Monday morning. It means he works from home. He is the senior developer, vice president of software. Yeah, he makes about $170,000, never has to leave his house. So, yeah, if you're good at programming, you want to keep learning language. A lot of times people get pigeonholed in one language, and languages are always changed. Right now, one of the big languages is Go, and that's what nice thing about community college. We're very flexible, and like I said, we have these business people tell us what language. That's how we know the languages are changing. And I'll show you a video here in a little bit what our students say about the programs and that. The audio engineers, I asked Roddy about this. This is what he's got listed on his site. You can have producers, directors. They start at $30,000, up to $100,000. Same with the video, audio technicians, broadcast technicians, and sound engineer technicians. So we also have paid internships. So some of the guidelines, usually it's in your second year. A lot of our students wait till the summer quarter of their second year. And a lot of students go during the summer, but they can do internships and actually get paid and get class at the same time. You've either graduated, usually they want something technical. In fact, I've got 2 students right now that are working for the college this quarter and this summer in our IT department. So in fact, one of them is going to become a full-time employee. In fact, our whole IT department, we have 5 different former students that work in IT. We also have partnerships here in town with Key Technologies. They do the French fry sorters. It's pretty amazing technology. They use a lot of Linux-based. We've got 3 or 4 former students working at Key, Banner Bank, Baker Boyer, Columbia County. It's a student up there that's the director of the Columbia County IT, the VA, and other employers, all employers throughout the valley here in this area. Hopefully you got some 3D print objects we showed. This a MakerBot robot printed out. This is actually down in Mount St. Helens area, when the mountains just before what it looked like before the train and that. We got Garfield here. Some of the projects you might have saw. We got little dragons, different things. Butterfly, cheering birds. He teaches English over in our English department. He's a chair anyway. He wanted to make this mask. This is when it was first printed. These are what we call struts to hold up like the nose and everything. This is with it on his face, and you kind of see that's what it is. We also have ASB, Associated Student Body, and so they trips. These were two of my former students. We went to the Cybersecurity Conference in Seattle, Washington. We're in a game room up in Seattle here. Funny story about this, I used the ATM and hacked my freaking card. Yeah, somebody had a reader on it. So you think going to Cybersecurity Conference, should have known there'd be something up with that. It's like going to DEF CON. You never want to take your phone to DEF CON because there's always somebody hacking it. Yeah, this was called the NICE Conference, and we had a great time up there. Everything was paid for. So we have a lot of free trips. I've took students to Vegas before, the clubs. So we've had an anime club. We've got gaming club. In fact, they have an Xbox and PlayStations. We play about once every quarter, once or twice a quarter. They play on Friday night over in the ASB. If you haven't had a chance to check out our ASB, pool tables, ping pong tables, they've got all the little arcade machines and that over there in the ASB area. This is some students' artwork in our business marketing class. What they made our students do at their capstone is they had to build marketing for a company called Big Monsters. And so these were different, creatures that came up for their logos. This is 3 different logos here, different students created for the marketing stuff. They had to build envelopes, flyers, website, the whole bit. So here's some other artwork students did. The picture, this picture of me and my wife's shared pictures, had my students put my face into it. This one over here, somebody did this before with the dolphin. So a student took this and decided to actually make the goat look like it was coming out of the picture instead of having a dolphin. In fact, he didn't make sense of what the tiger chased in the dolphin. He thought it'd be better with the goat, so he changed up a picture. This is another artwork they did advertising. This is posters. They put my face and some of the suspects. This is a student's actual face for the Captain America poster. So I'm going to play you a video here. Just talks a little bit about what our students have to say about the program. You kind of get a gist of what we're about here.
To me, computer science is a lot about problem solving and out-of-the-box thinking.
What gets me most excited working in this field is endless possibilities.
It's very hands-on work, challenging. You're always learning something new as technology grows and evolves, something that you can never really get bored in.
I walk upstairs every day and I learn something new.
It's kind of like an all-encompassing educational experience.
There's tons of classes to choose from, depending on what you're interested in. You can focus on networking or software engineering.
It's basic foundation, and then you just keep learning and learning more skills.
As you keep learning, you keep finding all these different niche subjects you can specialize in.
I have a strong interest in either web development or game development.
The big dream is private sector cybersecurity.
They really get you in depth with every major language in computer programming.
I had 0 programming experience. I was kind of nervous, but I was surprised with how fast I was able to pick everything up. Once you know one and you know the basics of it, it's very easy to transition between them.
I've learned JavaScript, MySQL databases, Python, C#. I'm currently learning C++. It really just covers a whole variety of anything from data structures to HTML formats, why algorithms work the way they work, how machines understand code so you can more efficiently create solutions to problems.
You're going to have to sit there for a long time and, how do I figure this out? And the people who can sit and grind that out, are usually the people who are successful and end up with an A in the class.
The classes have been great in growing knowledge. Instructors have been great with answering questions.
A lot of the teachers themselves have either worked in the industry or are still working in the industry, and so they have a lot of that experience of both past and current that they can give you.
If you have an analytical mindset and you love doing problem solving or creative out-of-the-box thinking, you just find any assignment pretty fun.
It's group-centric. We bounce ideas, we bounce problems off each other, and I've really learned a lot from other people.
I was really excited to learn just how up-to-date they are, keeping up with a lot of the tech, and they're really training you for what's current and modern in the industry.
So I think computer science is insanely integral to any profession, really, because it all relies on finding ways to automate processes.
It's really a field that anybody can get into and can learn and grow.
So we welcome you to Walla Community College. Yeah, another thing about community colleges, they talked about 3 of our instructors. One of them's lead engineer at Hanford. You saw the Eugenics picture there. We're a lot there in the office there. Like I said, we work in partnership with a lot of businesses, and so a lot of them guys are professional programmers are coming in and teaching as adjunct professors for us, which keeps us fluid. A couple programs areas we're looking at going in. You heard me talk about the networking degree. Right now, we froze the networking degree. We're trying to hire a new instructor. We're looking at going to a cybersecurity emphasis. Another area that we're expanding into is AI, since it's such a huge area in that. So if you have any questions, reach out to robin.green, Greene, at wwcc.edu if you email her. Or like I said, give her a call, 527-4699. That's 509-527-4699. We'd be happy to welcome you into the program.